Amazon's Project Hail Mary just dropped its first full trailer, and it's got Ryan Gosling leading a one-man space mission with high-stakes science and cosmic mystery through the roof. But can this next-gen sci-fi adventure find its way in 2026? We're digging into that and a lot more today, so let's get to it. Hey kids, welcome back to Tom Clark Reviews, the only quick hits pop culture show featuring a guy named Tom Clark who looks like this, wearing this, and saying stuff. Before we get started here today, kids, if you will, do me a big favor, hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. Now today we're talking about Project Hail Mary, the Amazon MGM sci-fi feature set to launch in theaters on March 20th, 2026. The first full trailer just dropped, and it's a space-faring, science-driven thriller with heart. So, can Ryan Gosling lead a solo space mission that hits both emotionally and intellectually as The Martian did almost a decade ago? This trailer hints that it's taking the science very seriously and leaning into high concept stakes very hard. Now, before we get too deep in the weeds here today, kids, let's take a look at the crew behind the scenes. This movie is directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, two of the most popular and acclaimed in the sci-fi and comic book genre. They're both masters of smart, witty genre work. They've worked as directors, writers, producers on films like the Lego Batman movie, the Spider-Verse trilogy, and a whole lot more. The screenplay of this movie is by Drew Goddard, who has some impressive credits as well, including Buffy the Vampire Slayer, World War Z, and the original Daredevil series on Netflix, just to name a few. He also adapted Andy Weir's best-selling novel, The Martian, which earned him an Oscar nomination. Now that is a powerhouse crew behind the scenes, kids. And it's also a bestseller template for sharp genre filmmakers. There's also a cerebral yet very emotional tone to this, which means that everything behind the scenes is adding up to hopefully make this movie a big hit. Now, full disclosure, I'm a big fan of Andy Weir. If we haven't mentioned it yet, Andy Weir did write The Martian, and of course, he's also written Project Hail Mary, and he wrote Artemis. The guy's a fantastic writer. If you love this genre, if you love sci-fi, if this is your jam, you should definitely check out the works of Andy Weir. I personally love The Martian. I thought the book was fantastic. The movie was also great, which doesn't happen a whole lot. For those of you out there who follow along, you know how this can work. Sometimes the book will be slamming and will do everything you want it to do, and the movie falls short. Sometimes maybe the opposite can happen. But for me personally, again, I'm a big fan of Weir. I love his books, and I think the adaptations so far have been great. But we'll see what happens with Project Hail Mary. By the way, Artemis that we just mentioned is also being adapted into a big budget film. And you can guarantee when that moment comes, we'll talk about that here as well. Now, as someone who is very familiar with the book, let me just tell you that just one trailer, I'm already excited. You want to know why? Because this thing hits all the right beats. I know it's one trailer. I know it's just our first look out of the gate. We've got a long time till we get to March 2026. I totally get it, kids. But I'm telling you, again, as a fan of this book, there is nothing in this trailer that leads me to believe, at least at the moment, that this movie is not going to be faithful to the source material. That's a big deal for me. Again, I love the book. There's a lot of great stuff in that book to pull from. And honestly, again, like I said, there's nothing in this trailer that for me personally is setting off any alarms. You know, there's nothing for me personally that I'm actually concerned about here. Now, it's usually at this part of the show that I plug a project that we've done on Tom Clark's 6M podcast. Unfortunately, we have yet to cover The Martian. Not sure why. We just haven't got to it yet. But we did cover Lord and Miller's Solo: A Star Wars Story. That's right, kids. It's available in the archives of Tom Clark's 6M podcast. The link is in the description. And check out up top, you'll see the card as well. That's right, kids. Shameless plug. Okay. I know what you're thinking. Hey, Tom, Lord and Miller were actually fired from Solo: A Star Wars Story. I totally get it, okay? I do. But look, I wanted to get a plug in here. I wanted to, hype the 6M podcast, so I did it. Don't get upset about that. Now let's talk about what we know so far about this film. This trailer shows Ryan Gosling's character, Ryland Grace, a school teacher, waking up alone on a spaceship on a desperate mission to save humanity and find his way back home. There are flashbacks to the mission that got him there in the first place, and it centers around trying to understand why the sun is dying and why the same thing is happening throughout the universe. Gosling's character also encounters alien life during his journey, and let me tell you, it's a highlight of the story. So, all in all, we're expecting a mix of solar disaster strikes, experimental science setups, and human survival with a touch of humor. Again, all right in line with the book. Now, as I said before, I'm very familiar with Project Hail Mary, and this trailer reveals very, very little. And there's way more in the book, and there's way more that I know right now today. But I'm trying to behave, and I'm not trying to reveal anything to you. I don't want to spoil anything for you. But let me tell you again, if the producers, if the directors, if everyone sticks to a faithful adaptation, this thing is going to be true to the science. It's going to feel real. Everything's going to look great, but there's also going to be that emotional tone to it, those beats, as we said before. This film, again, if done properly, this thing should be a monster hit. I'll also say that one thing that Weir has managed to do in his books, and again, that we've seen in The Martian before, is this mix of science and trying to make it as real as possible to the average audience member, but also adding that element, that genre, that sci-fi element to it. And, making it larger than life, but also trying to ground it in some form of reality. Now, if you've read anything or seen anything in the years since The Martian was released, they took some liberties with some of the science. I totally get that. I understand why they did. So if you want to get hung up on those kind of details, I guess you can. But for me personally, I thought that the details they added into that movie worked. I thought, again, it helped ground it in reality, even though it is fictional, even though none of this stuff ever happened, of course. But again, for me, I think it just made for a great mix of both realism and sci-fi. I mean, at some point, the thing actually starts to feel like a documentary instead of just a science fiction film. So I wonder if that's going to happen here with Project Hail Mary as well. All right, fine. You know what? I said I wasn't going to give a spoiler. So I'm going to give a little one. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give anything away. I'm just going to give a little one. That's all, just a little taste. I may even put the word spoiler right here just so everybody knows I'm not trying to ruin anything for you. As we've said in the so far in the I don't want to ruin it. As we've said today so far in this episode, it looks like Gosling's alone. Well, let me just put it to you this way. He doesn't start off alone. I don't want to, again, go too awful deep in the weeds here, but that's not how it happens in the book. He's not by himself. That's how it ends up. And then when he meets the alien, again, that is going to become the center of this film. If they stay true to the book, because it's a major, major plot line of the book, and it's great. I cannot. I'll start gushing if I talk too awful much about it here today. But that's all I'll tell you. That's all I'll reveal. And again, that's not much of a spoiler, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Look, you've all got the Google machine. If you want to go ruin this movie for yourselves, have at it. Knock yourselves out. But for me, as I've said many times here on the show before, I don't like to have anything spoiled. I like to just sit in the theater or sit at home and watch the stream or whatever that looks like and just enjoy it with the rest of the audience. I don't want anything ruined for me. Having said all that, don't cheat. Don't go to Google, for goodness sake. Just enjoy the ride. There'll be other trailers to come. And, if you want to get the book, get the book. That's not technically cheating, right? Just don't Google stuff. It's ridiculous. No sense in cheating. Just enjoy it with all the rest of us. And by the way, I'm going to know if you cheat. I'm watching. You hear me? All of you. All right, now that threat's out of the way, let's take a look at the cast for this film. Now, of course, as we said before, we've got Ryan Gosling. He's here as Ryland Grace. He's the main character and star of the movie. Gosling has been crushing it recently, and he's one of the most popular and accomplished actors around. I personally think he's a great choice to play Ryland. We've also got Sandra Hüller, an accomplished actress, as Eva Stratt, Ryland's superior. Milana Vayntrub from This Is Us is here as Alicia Lucana. Lionel Boyce is also here. You probably know him as Marcus from The Bear. He is great in that show, in case you don't know, and I expect he'll knock it out of the park here as well. We also have Ken Leung, who's got a string of credits that includes Lost, The Force Awakens, and Rush Hour 2. Now, Chiwetel Ejiofor is also confirmed for this movie, but he is not in the trailer. And in case you guys don't know who he is, he was also in The Martian, so it's going to be awesome to have him here. He's a great actor, and he's got serious geek cred, fanboy cred as being Baron Mordo in the MCU. So just as we have a solid crew behind the scenes, we've also got a great cast in front of the camera. And I think that's going to make all the difference. But I'd love to know what you think. Will this cast deliver? Are you looking forward to this movie? Do you think that everyone behind the scenes, are they the right people? Do you think the cast is great? Is Ryan Gosling, does he fit in here? Does a sci-fi epic make sense for him at this point in his career? Again, are you looking forward to it? I'd love to know. Do me a favor, kids. Hit me in the comments. Let's talk about it. Now let's talk about the good, the bad, and the in-between. First, the good. As we said earlier, we have an elite creative team on board here. Lord and Miller excel at smart, emotional genre, and Goddard delivers science along with humanity. We also have a proven formula here, kids. The Martian succeeded with this mix. Why reinvent it if it's not broken? Then, of course, there's tremendous star power here as well. Ryan Gosling plus Sci-Fi could equal a big attention draw. I definitely think there's more working for this trailer than against it. And even though we're going to talk about the bad, I personally don't think there's a lot here to really get into. I mean, the CGI looks great. The space scenes are breathtaking. The cast is right. I mean, honestly, it's all there. But hey, to be fair to the show, we do this every week. So we're not going to not do it here. Let's call it down the middle and let's talk about the bad. If we're being blunt, there's just not a lot to go on. And while the trailer slaps, that doesn't necessarily mean that the movie will be any good. I mean, I hate to say it. We all know how this works. It's happened plenty of times before. We get a fire trailer. Things look great. You get good vibes. You think everything's going to be okay. And next thing you know, you see the movie and you're like, what's this crap? I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen here. Again, it happens all the time. And also, let's be honest here, kids. Much of this trailer is only Ryan Gosling. And though he will encounter an alien, and man, I wish I could tell you more about that, honestly. Look, let's just be real. That alien will likely be CG. I mean, it's worked in the past, of course, but if it doesn't work here for whatever reason, it'll be left to Gosling to do all the heavy lifting, which means the movie could potentially not work. Single character space films live or die on performance and pacing. And if everything's not clicking together here, this thing may sink. Also, again, if we're being honest, there's a lot of high expectations around this movie. I mean, with that team, with that star, that cast, that crew, that budget, yeah. I mean, again, high expectations. People are going to expect that this movie is going to hit, that it's going to work on every level. Will it, though? I mean, is there a chance this thing could sink? Sure. Is this going to deliver? Is everything going to come together? I guess we're all going to find out in March of 2026. Can't believe we got to wait that long. But hey, we'll all find out together, right? But now let's talk about the in-between. There is some work to be done here to balance the tone. We've got humor and science versus real emotional beats. It can be a tricky combo, and it's really unknown if this is going to succeed or not. Then there's the CG quality. And again, it looks amazing. The trailer makes it look great. I mean, of course, but when it comes to big budget, VFX heavy films like this, they need NASA level visuals or audiences may bounce. This movie will also face a crowded release window as Hollywood begins rolling out the summer blockbusters within weeks of the release of this film. Will Project Hail Mary hit at the right time and have a chance to connect with moviegoers? Now, you guys know me. I don't hate on stuff. I don't make content to hate on stuff. Just not who I am. I talk about stuff that I enjoy or stuff that I think I'm going to enjoy because I don't like to put negativity out there. So, of course, this show's no different. I'm a big fan of the book, as I've stated many times here today. And I really cannot wait for this movie to come out. I'm excited for it. I'd love to tell you all about it right now, but again, I'm resisting the urge to do so. But I'm definitely a fan, and I hope that this thing hits. I'm really, really looking forward to this. And also, if this movie is half as good as the book, you're in for a treat. I don't say that lightly either. I'm being honest. If this movie barely lives up to it, I still think it's going to be entertaining. I still think it's going to be fun. I still think it'll be a good movie. But now I want to know what you think. Are you excited for Project Hail Mary? Do you think this thing's going to work? Is it just another science fiction movie to you? Are you sick of the CG-laden movies that we get every year? Would you rather go with more dialogue-heavy films? Would you rather see more real people and real characters? Is the sci-fi stuff, the comic book stuff, or have you just had enough of it? I'd love to know what you think. Do me a favor, kids. Hit me in the comments. Let's talk about it. In the meantime, stay tuned for a whole lot more. Remember to hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. Thanks for watching Tom Clark Reviews, and we'll see you next time, kids.